Hey there, Vesper here. Welcome back to Dice and Ink. So today's video is all about creating our village, our home base. I've already done the draft here, you can kind of see the layout. Now it's time to bring it to life with some watercolor, and while I'm painting it, I thought we could just talk about the village itself, like what kind of place is this? Who lives in here? What's the vibe? Just starting building that together. Alright, so let's go into it. But before we dive into the village details, I feel like we need to talk about the world around it, just to set the scene a little. So a lot of this is inspired by Forbidden Lands, which is one of my favorite games. I love that whole idea of wilderness exploration and survival in a world that's kind of been lost to time. So in the world we're creating, things have been isolated for generations. And the reason? Some people call the penumbra. Now, here's the thing. We don't really need to understand exactly what the penumbra is. Not yet. And honestly, the people in the village don't either. They're also in the dark about it. All they know is what's being passed down through stories and rumors. That the penumbra only came out at night and it was dangerous. People who got caught in it lost their sanity. Animals turned vicious. Some even became full-on monstrosities. So, naturally, villagers sealed themselves off. They had no choice. They've been surviving like that for years, totally isolated, just scraping by, doing whatever it takes to stay alive. And now, out of nowhere, the penumbra is gone. And no one knows why. It just vanished. And the world it left behind, it's wild, overgrown. Roads are broken, landmarks are gone, and it's not safe out there. The village can finally start looking outward again, but it's risky. Now, like I said, what exactly was a penumbra? We don't know, not really, and that's okay. I mean, I've got some ideas rattling around, like maybe there was a rift between our world and some kind of shadow realm, and maybe the penumbra was this slow leaking, like the shadow helm bleeding into our space, not just the air, but the actual fabric of space and time. And when living beings came into contact with it, things went bad. But again, that's just a rough idea, nothing set in stone. Yeah, I kind of want that to emerge naturally as we play. The game itself drop clues, like let our characters discover pieces of the truth over time, that's more fun. So yeah, while I'm painting this map, all of that's swirling in my head. This isn't just a cute little village. This is a place that was shaped by fear, survival, isolation, and now sudden freedom. Okay, so let's finally start to talk about the village itself. And I want to start with the wall, because it's got history. Way back before all this isolation stuff, I think that would be cool that this village actually had a pretty big role in the region. It was important to the capital, like strategically important. And during an old war with the orcs, this place acted as kind of a stronghold, a buffer zone, and the capital actually invested in a proper wall, and not just any wall, like a really solid and fortified one. And we can say that the wall is the reason the village survived all these years. But time doesn't care about history, and with no more soldiers, no supplies, the wall is currently falling apart. Cracks, big gaps in places. Now it's like a ghost of what it used to be. But you can still see the bones of it. The structure is there, but it's crumbling. And people have had to patch it up however they could. Bits of wood, mud, whatever they could find. And even so, folks here do what they can to keep it standing. They know how important it is. It's not just a wall anymore. It's something that protects them and still kind of does, even it's barely holding on. And that idea is cool because we have a lot of room for improvement. We can foster some quests and missions in order to build up the wall or improve the wall somehow. And next up, we should have some sort of a manor or like a city hall or village hall in your case. I imagine like the village is run by a small council made of two important figures. One is a wise and respected elder who was chosen by the people, and the other one is like from an ancient noble house that once ruled this land. We also need like a general store where people can find what they need, and like nearby there's a blacksmith. We also need that. Of course, it's run by a dwarf. Uh, I imagine a dwarf. I don't know his name yet, but his family has a long tradition of smithing. Nowadays, he mostly makes tools for farmers and repairs horseshoes since metal is so rare. Weapons and armor are luxury now, like they have been melted down to keep the village working. And as I said, based on that, we could have a lot of missions to improve the blacksmith and to acquire new materials, to acquire new wars. Yeah, a lot of stuff can came out of this. We do also need a temple. This is the spiritual center of the village where people come from guidance, blessing, and moments of reflection. The religion here is polytheistic. The villagers believe in many gods, spirits of harvest, storm, war, love. And I depict the temple as a small place, like humble one, dedicated to all of the gods. It's not specific for one. And the temple itself is kind of a shared space for all of them. But there's one guy who takes care of it, the cleric. He's devoted to one particular god, but not like some minor deity. I imagine he like devoted to probably father of the god, something I don't know connected to nature, something broad enough to cover a lot of ground. This cleric kind of keeps the temple running, helps people with their prayers, maybe offer advice or healing. Yeah, he's an important figure, especially in a village where everyone's just trying to hold things together. And talking about hold things together, we also need a militia or some sort of protection or guard, a place dedicated to it. But we cannot expect like a well-trained army or anything like that. Most of these folks are farmers, miners, regular workers who take turns standing guard or dealing with trouble. It's kind of a community effort, but we do need like a captain or something that is the face of the militia, that represents the militia as an NPC. We can think about him later, but yeah, let's keep in mind that we need something like that. And another place that we cannot forget is like a gathering spot, like an inn or a tavern, where people come to unwind, share news, maybe a little gossip, and of course give us missions and quests. So we do have the wall, the city hall, temple, blacksmith, general store, tavern slash inn, the militia stuff. We are almost done. To be honest, we have everything to start, but I also want to add another thing that I think that can foster a lot of quests and missions for us. That is some sort of an herbalist. And that herbalist will be really important for our city and for us as players because it will provide us with missions to collect a lot of materials, and also they will brew potions for us. And about the name of the village, I want the village to be named as Edoras. Yeah, I know it's a name some of you might recognize from The Lord of the Rings, and honestly, that's totally fine. We don't need to be ashamed of stealing names, especially when we are playing solo or when we are playing with close friends. It's all about what sparks joy and creativity in your mind. For me, Edoras feel like just right. Strong, simple, and full of characters. And let's see how this place grows. And before finish, Edoras isn't just a backdrop. It's a living, breathing part of the story. The village is small now, held together by resilience and hope, but it won't stay that way. As adventures unfold, the players won't just shape the world beyond the walls, they will shape Edoras itself. Shops will grow, new buildings might rise, NPCs will evolve, becoming more skilled, gaining new items to trade, new service to offer, even personal quests of their own. Alright, so something I really want to try with this campaign is bringing in that feeling of rebuilding. I want Edoras to grow with us. I don't know exactly how it's gonna go, but I want to give it a shot. So let's figure it out together. And that's it. See y'all in the next one.